No doubt, going to be a lot of fun here. The first one, as you said, was won by Dayton. That was back on January 18th, 83-81 in overtime. We're underway here tonight. Our officials, Ron Gruver, Doug Sermons, and Brent Hampton. Flyers win it to start the game. Here's Santos. Works it to Mel Latong. Santos, runner, good.
He's a tough shot maker, and he's a very efficient scorer. That's not exactly his game. I think Drew Valentine will live with that. If he's hitting a left foot fadeaway runner to his left side, that's okay. But good defensive possession, better execution by Santos.
Starting five for the Ramblers. You talked about Dawson. Des Watson has been great as well. A guy that really needs to pick it up in this game is number 24, Miles Rubin. He has not had a great outing in the two meetings prior versus the Flyers.
And they went right into him earlier. You see the cross screen. Latong was a little late getting over it. He actually had it to his left hand, but he's a right-handed player, so he tried to reverse it. He had Latong under the hoop, power up with that left hand, and put your shoulder into the shot blocker.
There's your starting five for Dayton tonight. Nice backdoor play. Santos, who got rejected inside by Dawson.
And Doug Sermons is teeing up Dawson right away.
Oh, wait a minute.
And honestly, when you see the replay, I thought right away he better stop because he said something at first, and then he kept going right in Santos's face. It's a great cut, a great pass, and a better block. And right there, you get away with that. Okay, all right. For first look, I thought it was a little more than that, honestly. But Doug Sermons is setting the tone right away. You know, you really can't. We actually saw that last week here the other way. Remember, it was for Dawson who hit a three and said something, and he got teed up, and we said he shouldn't have got a tee for that. This one was a little more questionable.
You're absolutely right, Dylan. He did it on the offensive end last week, and now here on the defensive end. I mean, obviously, he's a very fiery player. You mentioned him right from the start. He's got 74 points in the last three games, the reigning Atlanta 10 player of the week. But thought he had the block. Instead, they called him for the foul. And then the technical foul. Actually had the block. He had just said the words, and that's when they called him for the technical foul. So it could have been even worse had he got called for a foul and then mouthed off. He would have had two. Now he's got one foul, and it was a technical, and it's 4-0.
And you saw what Enoch Cheeks was talking to Ron Gruver about there, because the net came down before that shot. See, the net is discombobulated.
Right.
And they're going to try to get that thing out here and get it fixed. But it is a little weird to shoot into that thing when it's not bright.
All right, so Brent Hampton just came over and told us here they're going to have to replace the entire net.
Well, the entire rim.
Oh, the rim.
Because this isn't your local YMCA or the park, so they don't have the hooks. Like the hooks are protected by a rim cylinder inside the rim, like underneath it. That's what gets the hooks on, and that thing is broken apparently. So.
Oh yes.
This could be an extended.
There you go. You see how it attaches. Yeah.
So this could be a. Interesting delay, especially when the game just started. If there's a time for it to happen, it would be now versus later.
So it's a clean block here for Dawson, and then he mouths off to Santos right there. And that's when Doug Sermons comes in and says, nope, technical foul on Dawson. We just had the two free throws in which Dayton hit. 4-0 Flyers. They're going to have the ball underneath their own basket. And then we had the net situation here where the net is coming off the rim. And they're going to have to try to get this thing corrected, as you heard him say. And they might have to replace the entire rim. So it looks like we might have a little bit of a lengthy delay here.
It could be. And I tell you what, this is a time for it to happen any time. It'd be early in the game right now. Because you didn't get fully in the flow of the game yet right now. And the fans are definitely live. And libations are sold in Gentile Arena. So people may be extra lubricated when we get back in the game action.
All right, we'll take a timeout while they fix the net. We will return. This is the Atlantic 10 Friday Night Showcase. 4-0 Flyers back to Chicago after this.
If you're visiting family, why don't you fly better? 16 flights a day from the U.S. to wherever they may be.
Let's start the bidding at $5 million. Thank you, sir.
These people of privilege, hoarding the financial advantages for far too long.
7.5 at the back.
Look at them, unaware that Robin Hood Gold members now enjoy the VIP treatment.
$10 million on the
A
right.
3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
11 million, sir.
Once they discover their privileges are no longer exclusive, their fragile reality will plunge into disarray.
All right, so let's go back to the last meeting here between these two on January 18th in Dayton, Ohio. The Ramblers are battling in this one. Sheldon Edwards made a layup to tie the game at 68. Then he got a jumper as well. It was Dayton 80-79. They ended up with a free throw to take the lead, and then they come back, and Jalen Quinn is able to tie this game here at 81. So the game is tied at 81 in overtime. It's go to double OT, right? No. Malachi Smith, three-quarter court, up to Amel Latong for the win, 83-81, and the Flyers escape in the first game of this series this year.
And escape is the right word. They were up double digits most of that game, and you credit Drew Valentine's team for battling back. But in the end, little things go a long way. And Jalen DeLoach, you learn your lesson. Even in a late game situation like that, they'll fix it. They'll finish this real quick. Brett Hampton just came over and said they'll fix the rest of the rim at halftime, but it's functional right now. But Jalen DeLoach was messing around with the ball there, and that led to the Latong being wide open on the backside.
All right, now we got a foul here on Dayton.
And let me just clean up. That was a technical foul on Dawson. Last week, the early technical was on Watson.
Right.
But also in a very, interesting situation that had some subjectivity to it.
All right, so Loyola Chicago now finally here in the front court. Edwards puts up a three. That is no good. Enoch Cheeks the rebound for the Flyers. And what a crazy start already in this game. Minute and a half gone by. And the block, the technical foul, an offensive foul. The net came off the rim. Now let's just play some basketball here, right? Here's a steal. Ruben's got it for Loyola Chicago.
Good recovery, but Santos, if you're going to try to throw that past Latong, it's got to go vertical. You got to throw that up at the rim and see if he can finish it. A bounce pass to the 7-footer with so many hands, even if it gets through, hard for him to finish.
Coach Anthony Grant and the Flyers here. They have won 7 of the last 9 games. The 2 losses in that stretch, VCU by 5 points, and then a blowout at St. Bonaventure. But they're trying to pick it up here at the right time, because you're going to need one of those top 4 spots in the A-10 to get that double bye. It's a big game here tonight. If they win this one, they'll have won the season series between Loyola, and that'll help come tie-breaking scenarios if there is one. Bennett, tough fadeaway baseline, no good. Rebound, Loyola Chicago.
Winsu grabs an outstanding rebound in traffic. Now he's going to turn the corner. That's defensive miscommunication there. Was no switch. They're going to switch a lot of those guard-to-guard screens. Well, Winsu is a guard in this offense and struggled.
2.5 minutes gone by first half. Flyers possession leading 4-2. Here's Bennett. Cheeks for 3 off the screen. No good. Rebound Ramblers. And it's into the hands of Des Watson. Winsu. 1-on-1 here with Cheeks. Inside Ruben. Got it.
Heck of a pass by Winsu, and good catch and finish by Ruben right through some contact.
Miles Ruben, number 1 in the Atlantic 10. Field goal percentage, 68% coming in. Thanks to high percentage shots like the one you just saw. Tied at 4. Up top, Latong, and got blocked by the rim. Watson inside to Ruben. 1-on-1 with Latong. Got it knocked out of his hands. Good defensive play, and Bennett has it.
Good job by Latong. He's given up some physicality there, and there's Zedke's waiting to come in this game. This is what he can do, pick and pop. Oh. Makes this offense different. When Key comes in, there's more force, there's more play at the rim, but Latong offers that pick and pop option.
Now it's Sheldon Edwards for 3. That's no good. Rebound Malachi Smith.
Him and Watson are ones that shot them back into the first meeting.
Yep.
You can't go underneath the screens there. And that was a miscommunication again by Dayton. That gave him a very good look there.
Yeah, and Edwards is closing in as a block goes inside by Loyola Chicago. Edwards has 77 threes on the season. Third most single season all time in Loyola history. The record is 85, and he may get that this year. Here's a three that's no good by Dawson.
They're flirting with danger because, again, there was a miscommunication. Latong stepped back. That's a good look for Dawson, again, who's shooting 53% from deep in the last 3 games.
And Cheeks scores it for Dayton, and they now lead 6-4.
Transition defense is the key for both teams. Can you get your defense back and set and absorb their secondary and make the other team run offense? There, they failed to do that. Cheeks got to the 10.
To your note about the three-point shooting for Loyola Chicago, 0 for 3 here to start. But they've had good looks, as you said. Here's Edwards. Watson controls it, guarded by Cheeks. Up top for Rubin. Rubin to the hole. There he is.
How about that little Watson, little screen for the big man on the lane line? It was an awkward looking, not even play, just action. They just kind of, they're out there playing and gave him a little freedom to knock that down.
Already a better job for Rubin than he had in the previous game versus Dayton this year. We only scored 2 points. He's already got 4 so far here tonight. Smith to the hole. No good. Picked up by Wawinsu on the outlet. Here's Watson. Caught by Bennett, goes up top for Rubin.
He is always a lob threat. Latong lost sight of his man. He was worried because Bennett just gives it from size to Watson. He thought he was going to get posted. Great job sharing the ball.
You said it. They're getting him involved early here in this game. 6 of the 8 points for Loyola Chicago by Miles Rubin. 3 of 4 for the field. The other way, it's Smith for Latong for the 2.
And Malachi Smith was dynamic in the first meeting. Basically the whole second half, they just ran high pick and roll offense for him, and he just operated, and he just shot what he can do there.
Dawson back up top looking for Rubin, and he got fouled. He's going to shoot free throws when we return. Substitutions coming in as well. We're tied at 8.
Been an eventful first 6.5 minutes of action, if you will. When you got Malachi Smith, one of the best guards in the country, Latong, you have to get down.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Tempur-Pedic, helping you get the deep, undisturbed rest you deserve.
If you're visiting family, why don't you fly better? $16 flights a day from the U.S. to wherever they may be.
Let's start the bidding at $5 million. Thank you, sir.
These people of privilege, hoarding the financial advantages for far too long.
7.5 at the back.
Look at them, unaware that Robin Hood Gold members now enjoy the VIP treatment.
$10 million on the
A
right.
3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
11 million, sir.
Once they discover their privileges are no longer exclusive, their fragile reality will plunge into disarray.
It's starting to heat up in the Atlantic 10 here mid-February. There's been some unbelievable play by these teams this season. VCU, Dayton, George Mason. Look at these two right now, both in, according to Joe Lunardi, the Flyers with top wins over UConn and Marquette. How about the conference this season, Dell?
The conference has been great. It's deeper in the middle. It's harder to win games, and that's been the detriment of Dayton, honestly, this year, because after they beat UConn and Marquette, you were just penciling them in to an automatic qualifier. Then we're talking what seed, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, they had Iowa State, who's a legit national champion, on the ropes in Maui. They fell late in that game. They had UNC beat. They eventually took down UConn. But look at that. 2 wins over top 6 teams. The problem is losses to GW and UMass have hurt you. And that's why the league is different and more difficult this year. Dayton always has that target on their back. They know what that's about. But this year, they faltered to some of those teams they haven't in years past, which helps them lock up an at-large bid. So their resume has taken some hits. But George Mason, without a doubt, I think is a team that can be in the tournament. VCU is in my mind. I don't care if they don't win the thing in D.C. When you watch them play, they are a tournament team. And their numbers are reflected right now. That's why Joe Lunardi has them as an at-large team. Given Dayton's losses, I don't think they can get back onto that at-large line, which makes this A10 tournament even more interesting in DC in a couple weeks, because there's 6 or 7 teams that can win it, and there's desperation because outside of, like I just said, VCU, even George Mason, who's leading the league, doesn't have an at-large resume, although I think they're a tournament team. You got to go cut down the nets in the Capital One Arena, and that's not going to be easy.
That's how big this game is here tonight. Then they go on the road to take on Rhode Island. Then they have Richmond, St. Louis, and at VCU. How about that to finish up the regular season? So there's opportunities here if they want to try to improve a little bit.
Where that quad one opportunity, it ain't easy to win in the Siegel Center,
No.
but we'll be there on March 8th, and they'll have March 7th, and they'll have the chance to do it. And if they do, that may change the equation. As of right now, the at-large resume is not there, which is shocking. But again, it shows how difficult the league is to win these games that everybody outside the league expects you to win.
Cheeks, nowhere to go, puts it up, and it's an air ball. Ton of credit, by the way, to George Mason. They've won 11 straight games, the second longest winning streak in Division I. Akron leads the way with 14 straight wins, so that just shows what the Patriots and Tony Skinn have done. It's really outstanding.
I feel like he's a lock to be coach of the year in the A-10. What they've done and bringing in some different transfers, whether it's Maddox or Donaldson, and you've got different guys. And Haynes is a dynamic player as Watson hits the jumper. They got a lot of pieces there. They're well coached, and they know how to win games late, man. They know how to win tight ball games, and a very veteran team. You see a lot of difference in this lineup right now. Only starter in for Dayton right now is Enoch Cheeks. They've gone deeper in their bench, especially last game. They had a full-on line change against Duquesne, trying to build some depth for that tournament, and great steal by Watson.
Shot clock was winding down. Watson with the steal anyhow. Hands it off here to Quinn. As Loyola Chicago leads by 3. Watson got it to Jalen DeLoach. Tough fadeaway.
Got to get it reset. They had a chance, and it got gifted another opportunity. They could have reset their offense. They should have scored on the break. They didn't get it. And sometimes DeLoach, when he just said, my bad. Yeah, it was forced. There was no need to force that. Drew Valentine gives his guys freedom to let them go and do that, but there's some accountability as DeLoach says, hey, that's a bad shot. I'll get it next time.
So Jalen Quinn here to put it in.
Now that's not, Drew Valentine's not going to love that, because everybody in the league, everybody watches Dayton, you know they zone out of bounds unders. So they ran 4 or 5 different sets. They thought they could get either looks or just get it in easily, and they didn't execute it all right there, just threw it away. That's a wasted possession. They ran them in shooter out, I should say. We watched it. It looked great against the scout team. I mean, wide open jumpers.
Yeah, they were fired up today. They were pretty good on their run through the entire way. But then when you get in the game action, we all know what it's different and how different it is. It's a tight matchup here tonight as Alexander drives in, and he is fouled, and he'll get 2 at the line.
And Posh Alexander, he's gone through his injury issues earlier in league play as well, and this guy's been a pest at different schools, obviously. Butler and St. John's, he's been very good, especially the defensive side of the ball. But he's a New York City guard, get in the lane and create. Leans into Wakoria's body, gets himself to the free throw line. Really smart to get himself to the strike.
What's crazy about this conference, and we were talking about it moments ago, is that from teams 3 to 11, right? Teams 3 and 4 are the ones you're watching here with Dayton and Loyola Chicago at 8 and 5. You go all the way down to number 11, UMass, and George Washington, St. Bonaventure, all tied at 6 and 8. They're 2.5 games off the pace right there. I mean, that's crazy. There's 3 to 11.
There's true parity. The middle of the league has got a lot of good teams. They're well coached, playing in tough atmospheres. There aren't many gimmies here. And we've seen those teams beat some of the best teams in the league too.
Watson on the jumper, 13 to 10 now. Loyola Chicago. Yeah, that's the thing. You talk to any coach in the league, they're all like, oh, one game, man. Want to get 2 points here, 3 points there. And they're right.
Yeah. With this lineup, I think they should try to get some Zed Key and some rolls and some post-ups, because it's a little bit of a limited offensive lineup. You see Zed Key now trying to sit on DeLoach and coming back out.
You got Key with Simon, Bennett, Connor, and also Alexander. And there's a foul called here on Loyola Chicago.
And Drew Valentine telling Wakoria, you got him. You did foul him. Give him space. You're a bigger defender. You give him some room. Coaching him up as we go to break.
If you're visiting family, why don't you fly better? "16 flights a day from the U.S. to wherever they may be."
Let's start the bidding at $5 million. Thank you, sir.
These people of privilege, hoarding the financial advantages for far too long.
7.5 at the back.
Look at them, unaware that Robin Hood Gold members now enjoy the VIP treatment.
$10 million on the
The
right.
3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
11 million, sir.
Once they discover their privileges are no longer exclusive, their fragile reality will plunge into disarray.
It's got to be tough down. We talked about this before when you come to play in front of your friends and family, right?
Yeah.
Because Nate Santos is not that far, 48 miles away, Geneva, Illinois, where he grew up playing in high school, about an hour and a half away with traffic. And the family and friends are in the house tonight. He's already got 2 quick fouls, and he's out of the game.
And he started aggressive. He started well. Remember, he hit their first basket. He was playing well, almost got a steal. But now he's got to sit, and this is a challenge. He's their leading scorer, but as we said before, he's one of 5 guys with double digits. But Enoch Cheeks to his right and Malachi Smith to his left, also sitting there. Critical point in this game. How does this depth that Anthony Grant has gone more to in recent games perform on the road against a top-tier opponent like Loyola Chicago? And how do they manufacture offense? I really do think Bennett coming off screens and Zedke in the post is how they can help get some buckets.
Well, here's Key, pulls up and misses badly.
Drew Valentine will take that one all the time. That is a guy that hasn't taken a 3 all year, and that wasn't a 3. That was just a really long 2. Not a good shot.
Got to give Key a lot of credit, though. He's had 32 points in the last 2 games in 33 minutes of action for Dayton off the bench. The previous 7 games, he had 29 total.
He's back healthy, too. He got hurt the first outing between these 2 teams. He fell on a dunk attempt, hit his back, and missed the second half and then missed the following game. But he's back to full health as he goes out for Latong, Cheeks, and Smith back in. So you give those guys some spell. They need that. And from talking to their staff, and Ricardo Greer was very clear, we got to play maybe 3-3 in DC or 4-4. We're working on our depth right now late in the season. So they've given guys more minutes, but more starters in now. Have to get some better offense right now because the Flyers are taking a lot of difficult shots. Getting stops and playing in transition will help.
Yeah, they've missed 9 of the last 11 on the other side. Loyola has hit 5 of their last 6.
They're trying to attack Latong in the post. We saw it to start the game. Ruben, now DeLoach got a good touch from deep.
Right back the other way to 3-ball by Javon Bennett.
And Drew Valentine just launched a towel into the crowd in frustration. That can't happen in defensive transition. Just Bennett, a 40% three-point shooter, wide open in rhythm.
First 3-pointer made of the game for the Flyers. Go 1 for 3 from the outside. Here's Dawson getting the feed from DeLoach. Knocked out of his hands and a foul. It's going to be on Connor. Well, back to your point about the substitutions, a little bit different than the last game versus Duquesne, where they did the full line change like hockey, when they went 5 for 5. Now they're kind of mixing it up a little bit.
And there is no Isaac Jack. He's at home with he had his appendix removed, and we wish him the best. He will be back this season, they said. But this is where Connor, you got to be smart. You got a 7-footer right there with Dawson, a great playmaker, but who already picked up his dribble. You don't need to reach there. You don't need to commit a foul. You let your 7-foot freshman contest a shot, maybe block a shot.
So Dawson's at the free throw line here. The 3 straight 20-plus point games that we talked about at the start of the broadcast for Jaden Dawson. That's the most since Clayton Custer did it in 2018, and all that team did was go to the Final Four.
Look at that guy play. I mean, those teams were that team was truly special. The Sweet 16 team. Let's not forget about Cam Krutwig, and I mean they were 1-8 that 1-8 matchup in the second round of the NCAA tournament. They obliterated Illinois. Krutwig looked like the greatest point forward of all time.
Yeah. Malachi Smith out to Cheeks.
Trying to go, they got a guard on Latong. He's front of the post. They're trying to go high-low. Couldn't get into him. Great job by Dawson.
3 to shoot. Connor in the corner. It's up. It's a 2. It's good. 2-pointer by Connor.
Great ball fake. That took poise, man, because I thought he was going to launch it contested. Really great job by Connor.
Willinsu controls it here for Loyola Chicago. Alley-oop for Ruben. Not there. Yeah. And talking about that 18 team for a minute here, Drew Valentine, because he was an assistant coach that first year when they went to the Final Four, and he said, talking about this building, right? Gentile Arena, we're sold out tonight. He said, we were 1-2 in league play on a Saturday taking on Illinois State, and that was the first sellout we ever had here.
Yeah, 1 versus 2. And because he said when the first games they came here, and he's coming from Oakland as a player, Michigan State as a coach, there weren't that many humans in Gentile Arena. There was no student section. But toward the end of the year, when they were 1-2 in the Valley against Illinois State, people showed out. And since then, it's been this atmosphere where you hear the noise, and as a broadcaster, you feel it on your head as you get popped left and right by the fans behind you.
This place, and they haven't looked back since. over the last 7 years, and it's an electric atmosphere to say the least. 4,557 here tonight. Officially a sellout. As Dawson comes off the screen, pops it up, no. Into the hands of Malachi Smith. Connor takes it in and tried to dunk it. Missed it. Loyola Chicago ball.
I think that's the right call. As Connor was bowling through it, I didn't think it got deflected. He just missed the dunk, but I love what they were doing in transition, and he didn't settle for a three. Most of his shots are threes. Yes, that is out on him. But this is a guy that usually will take most of his shots from deep, but there he attacked the rim and just didn't get it to go. But that's where Dayton needs to play. You saw the ball got to Smith. He's out in the transition. Early offense is critical for them to really put the Ramblers on their heels.
Lewinsky, strong drive to the hole, but couldn't finish. And Tong the rebound. Bennett. And a Steve high archer off the window.
With the kiss. That was pretty. I mean, that's a 5'10" guard getting in there. Ball never touched his left hand. Scooped it up over the outstretched arms of one of the best shot blockers in the country in Rubin.
7-0 run for the Flyers. They've got the lead now by 2. Coming up on a timeout at the under 8. Here's a jumper by Watson. That doesn't go. And it's tapped into the hands of Cheeks. Oh, what a feed by Tom.
That's why he leads the league in assists. I mean, that was a beautiful find for Malachi Smith, and they've been able to get in transition and play in rhythm. And Valentine's forced to call a timeout. And it was getting stops though on the defensive end and cleaning up that rebound and getting their heads up right away. Bennett, this is so soft. Just beautiful kiss, and then what a feed by Smith to Latong. Big run by the Flyers.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by IKEA. The Flyers back in 2014 with the Elite 8 run, and the Ramblers in the Final Four in 18. Remember Dayton back in 14, they were a number 11 seed for the NCAA. They tied for 5th in the A-10. They lost in the quarterfinals. They got an at-large bid and went to the Elite 8. And then, of course, the Ramblers in 2018 winning the Missouri Valley tournament and the great run they had there. It's pretty spectacular for these two.
Oh, to say the least. And it sits up next to the national championship banner of 1963. And, of course, Sister Jean became part of our sporting lexicon when that 2018 run.
Right.
She's 105 years young now. As Rubin can get up to get down. She likes that. Sister Jean likes that. There's no doubt about it. Think about this. She was the same age as his kids behind us partying when Pearl Harbor happened.
Right.
She remembers the roaring 20s, not these 20s.
How about to really burst on the scene and become a household name basically at 98 years old, right? Oh, we go the other way for Alexander to Zed Key. Raise the roof as he always does. He puts it in for 2.
Great job by Alexander at finding Zed Key, even though Rubin was there in decent position, but Key gets up. And these middle ball screens, both teams having effect right now because they got good shooters in the corner, eliminating that help side.
Each team trying to match each other, what they do on each end of the court. Quinn, a little bump, fade away, got it to go.
That's Quinn's game. Not a shooter. He comes in looking to drive the ball, get to the rim, and a very good defender, especially the point of attack as he extends out here on Alexander.
Both teams tied at 8-5 in the Atlantic 10. Dayton won the earlier matchup in middle of January, 83-81 in overtime. Alexander for 3, no good. Ramblers trying to return the favor here tonight.
To settle. Posh doesn't, he's not a very good three-point shooter. He doesn't need to take that. He shoots in the 20%. Continue to probe and get downhill.
Dayton 1 of 5 from three-point range to get things started. Edwards up fake over Cheeks. Got it. Tied at 21.
Get Rubin off that handoff action, and with Key so far off Rubin because he's not a shooter, nobody was there to help. Edwards, nice ball fake as Cheeks was trailing and then hits the jumper.
First 2 of the game for Sheldon Edwards tonight for Loyola Chicago. Alexander hands off to Sun. Key.
They switched it.
Alexander trying to go into midair. It's intercepted. Dawson's got it. Quinn. No. Rubin had it for the moment. Now Cheeks corrals it.
It's almost like Quinn thought he was going to be challenged more. He took one dribble too many because he wanted to play off 2 feet, but he could have gone off one and just laid it in.
3 ball. Cheeks.
When he is aggressive, they are better. Now, when he gets double-digit points, they're 14-4 on the season. When he gets double-digit field goal attempts, they are still a better, more dangerous team. He needs to look to take more shots. He's not done that so far today.
He's got 7 points in this game. Rubin on the rebound. And he does love playing against Loyola Chicago, though, down 42 points in the last 2 meetings. 26 in the first meeting. And here's a jumper put in by Watson.
Nice job, Watson. Curling off of Rubin again, and Rubin facilitating nicely. Little bounce pass.
Simon.
Too much dribbling from Simon. You need a guard that can do something with the ball. This is going nowhere.
Out of the wing here. 8 to shoot. Got to take it away. You call it down. Intercepted Quinn. Up to Watson. Back to Quinn. Now Dayton wants a timeout.
Anthony Grant is furious. Drew Valentine is hyped. Anthony Grant went right to Simon and said, pass the ball. The right guy's got to have the ball in their hands at the right time. And here's why it's upset, because now this building is coming to life as Simon just keeps dribbling right into a turnover. Back to Quinn, lay it up. Ramblers rolling.
If you're visiting family, why don't you fly better? $16 flights a day from the U.S. to wherever they may be.
Let's start the bidding at $5 million. Thank you, sir.
These people of privilege, hoarding the financial advantages for far too long.
7.5 at the back.
Look at them, unaware that Robin Hood Gold members now enjoy the VIP treatment.
$10 million on the
A
right.
3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
11 million, sir.
Once they discover their privileges are no longer exclusive, their fragile reality will plunge into disarray.
Hope you're ready for college basketball tomorrow. College game day going to be at Houston's Fertitta Center to get it all started. Then Iowa State at Houston. Big one there, too. Georgia, #1 Auburn at 4. Kentucky, Alabama at 6. Tomorrow on ESPN, Sonic Blockbuster, college basketball. Nearing the end of February. Here we go. Hang on tight.
It's going to be outstanding as we come to the end here. In that game, Iowa State, Houston, folks, those are 2 Final Four national championship good teams. What will be a fantastic atmosphere. Georgia and Auburn. Remember, Georgia gave everything Auburn could handle in the first game in Athens. Great play by Watson.
Steal for Watson. 20 of Loyola's 27 points have come in the paint. They're on a 6-0 run and got a 3-point lead. Smith. Cheeks. Quiets the crowd for the moment.
He's good, man. As soon as he got in the corner, I was in my head, I want him to be, go try to make something happen here. And he started going baseline. He got back to his strong hand, his right hand, stops on a dime, pulls up. Big shot.
He's got 9 on 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3-point range. Perfect 2 of 2 at the line. He's also got 4 rebounds and an assist as well. It's a 1-point game. Quinn. Watson, he wanted the 3, and Cheeks recovered nicely. Quinn. Yes. Smith tried to get it to Santos. We got a foul here on Quinn. He tried to blow up the screen. We got a timeout.
Well, Chicago defensively is taking it. They're imposing their will and physicality on the game right now. And if you fall asleep at the wheel, they are making you pay. Watson, big time dunk, sent this place into bedlam.
If you're visiting family, why don't you fly better? $16 flights a day from the U.S. to wherever they may be.
Let's start the bidding at $5 million. Thank you, sir.
These people of privilege, hoarding the financial advantages for far too long.
7.5 at the back.
Look at them,
7.5 at the
unaware that Robin Hood Gold members now enjoy the VIP treatment.
$10 million on the
A
right.
3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
11 million, sir.
Once they discover their privileges are no longer exclusive, their fragile reality will plunge into disarray.
Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, College Game Day, live from Raleigh, North Carolina, to kick off our women's hoops triple header. Notre Dame has won 19 straight ACC games, the last time losing to NC State last year in South Bend. Irish are averaging 86.5 points a game, 14th in the nation. And that game will start at noon. Then we have North Carolina, Louisville, and a number 7 LSU and number 14 Kentucky. Big day in women's college basketball on Sunday, and it all starts in Raleigh at noon Eastern.
And that game day crew, the ladies are fantastic. I don't know if you saw it last week there in South Carolina. The Gamecock made an appearance. Elle was doing her thing with it. It was entertaining, to say the least. Be a great show. Preceding 3 outstanding games. That Notre Dame team, they're number 1 in the nation, and rightfully so. Their guards are outstanding. Hannah Hidalgo, one of the best in the business.
I mean, South Carolina got knocked back a little bit last time, right? You think they're going to be ready to go for the stretch run, or what?
I think they'll be fine.
Yes,
I think Don Staley crew they'll be just fine.
Right? How about here tonight? 5 ties, 3 lead changes. The largest lead for either team has been 5. Right now it's 3 for Loyola Chicago with under 3 minutes to go in the first half.
This is what they ran a lot to end the game last time, was getting Malachi Smith at a high ball screen. That's a foul on, on the backside. Corey kind of, now that's his 3rd foul already. He's a versatile defender, but they lifted that backside man, and they had the high ball screen there, and he just reached and grabbed the tongue to avoid giving up what would have been an easy dunk.
5 team fouls for Loyola Chicago. Well, Corey has got 3 of them, as you said. He goes to the bench. Smith. DeLoach is on him, back out to Cheeks. Takes a look at the timer on the other end of the court. He's got 4 to shoot, now trying to drive, knocked away, has it back, fade away, good! The shot clock was at 1.
Hey, Sheldon Edwards, great defensive job. And look at Drew Valentine applauding it, because it was a great defensive job, but just a really good offensive player in Enoch Cheeks.
Can't play any better defense.
You can't,
right.
and you just got beat by a better offensive player on that play.
Cheeks is the first in double figures in scoring here tonight with 11. On the way to the hole. Runner by Dawson. No. The tap is not there by DeLoach. And Latong has it.
Similar to last week, when we were here on Friday, their handoffs and ball screen action in the middle third of the floor has been very effective. They need to continue to go to that, and their guards look to get downhill as they are.
Nice little up and under by Malachi Smith, but it doesn't go. It's safe and going out of bounds by Wuinsu. Nifty dribbling here by Edwards. Almost stolen away. Bennett's all over him. Now DeLoach.
Trying to attack the tongue again.
Double team coming out with Bennett. Doesn't matter. DeLoach scores it.
This is where the 7-foot freshman, he's got to have a stronger base, and he's got to get more physically imposing, because you were able to post him up, get into his body, and score. And Rubin and DeLoach have done it successfully today.
DeLoach has got 4. Rubin's got 9 for Loyola Chicago. It's back to a 3-point lead. Coming up on a minute to go here in the first half. Bennett.
They switch the screen.
Kicks it to the corner. Santos is back in for 3. It's no good. He follows his own shot. It's knocked out of bounds. Believe it would stay. Dayton, no. It's going to Loyola Chicago. Might have went off of Dawson there, but
some of the screening action whenever the Ramblers are forced into switches, that was a good job by Bennett. He addressed it right away and just blew by DeLoach. And they got a decent shot. That's a kind of a quick one. I would like to see Santos play out of the closeout there. Let's take a look at the replay.
Oh, yeah, great call off the leg of Nate Santos.
Brett Hampton all over it. Yep. We should say this is a Final Four crew right here. Brett Hampton, Ron Gruber, and Doug Sermons all officiated the highest level of games. This is an outstanding crew on our Friday night. I
spent about 35 minutes in the locker room talking to him before the game tonight. I like to go talk to the officials. My guys, I got to get back to my production meeting. And a 3-pointer goes up and in here.
I'm aware you were there for that long. Doug Sermons did tell me. This is more importantly Dawson's first 3 in the game, though, for Loyola Chicago, a team that usually relies on threes. 38% of their offense from behind the arc. First one today.
His first 3 points of the night. As you said, it's the largest lead of the game here. Letong, and it cuts it right back down to 3. On a 3.
What a huge answer, because you missed that. They have a chance to go up 8-9 going into break. This building coming alive. What a shot by the freshman. Again, that's what he affords this offense, the ability to knock down threes with that stroke.
Shot clock is off here. 8 seconds to go. And a foul is called.
Nobody's in the bonus, though, so they don't. And this Dawson 3, as we said, they run this a lot, little pitch back, and he got Santos on his skates a little big. That's a dude to get a confident player making plays. And what a kick out by Bennett. And Letong, he's gotten better throughout the course of the year, become a more consistent 3-point shooter in league play, shooting now 8 of 24, so 33%. It's respectable, and then he hits a huge one there.
Got to feel good for Dawson, though, to get on the board here. He's had an average of over 24 points a game in the last 3. Now he puts up a 3, and it's no good. And with 3 seconds to go, Letong falls down, he travels.
And the clock's probably going to have to be fixed. Doug Sermon's on it right away.
Yeah, they're going to
Anthony Graham wants a foul, and he's being walked over at the sidelines by Doug Sermons, and I don't really think there was a foul on the play. Letong just got to be tougher. And as you're falling, he had the ability to throw it to a teammate. Just toss it to Bennett and let him go. Now, I will say this. They didn't execute out of the OB under early in the game. That was exactly what they drew up. And shoot around. Screening those 2 down. Have Dawson come over. He got a great look. Just didn't knock it down. Great
point. The last time they had thrown away on the sideline. So they did get that look. What have they got here as they put the clock back up at 2.1?
They had a couple different sets. Now they were looking to attack kind of that because they're not zoned up. They're manning up right now, which is rare for the Flyers in an OB under situation. See if they communicate it. 3.1 seconds to the clock.
Oh, wow. Okay, so they added a good 2.1. It was down to 1. Here's Quinn to put it in. Finds Edwards. Blocked by Letong. And that's going to be the end of the half.
Tell you what, we said this game was going to be entertaining.
Here's a scoring summary for you.
What Jaden Dawson does in the second half is critical, too. The last 3 games, we talked about the open of the show, he's averaging just under 25 points a game. He's got 3 right now. He has their lone 3. But he doesn't need to force it. He needs to continue to, especially those middle pick and rolls, middle handoffs have been effective. Look to get downhill, and if they can get threes, particularly in transition, as they try to get him coming off the handoff there.
Oh, nice feed from Willinsu to the cut-in Rubin.
Because Dawson came off so hard and drew that attention, they got confused, and on the backside, Willinsu was wide open as they kind of slid over and miscommunicated how they were going to guard Dawson.
Rubin now has 11 points for Loyola Chicago. The tie Cheeks for the game high, as you said. Here's Smith. Up top, Letong. He'll take that shot and he'll hit it. That's what he's done this season.
This is why he's going to become an NBA prospect and already is. We've seen at other games where NBA scouts are there to talk and ask about Letong. Like, because he is 7 feet tall, he's got that kind of stroke, and he plays better in space. Obviously, great drive by Watson. He'll continue to add physicality, the freshman from France.
3-time Rookie of the Week, Emil Letong, number 29 for the Flyers. He's got 10 points on 4 of 6 from the field, and he's hit 2 3-pointers tonight, 2 of their 4 that Dayton has hit. Now looking back over Cheeks, is not there. He hands off to him instead. Guarded by Dawson, pop back 3, no. Tapped around, Sheldon Edwards. Willinsu. Watson. Step back over Bennett. It's off to the right.
Dayton's inability to keep the Ramblers out of the paint, though, is the real problem here. They've switched a lot more recently. They've got to be better with their on-ball defense to keep these guys out of the paint.
Great point. 26 points in the paint so far here tonight. Here's Cheeks.
And Willinsu late on the help. Good feed by Letong. Good cut by Cheeks. Easy.
Willinsu. Got some traffic, and he turns it over.
Got Bennett.
There it is for 3. Would have given Dayton the lead.
But again, that shot. Remember when Dayton got on the run and got the lead, they got stops, they got out of transition, they had open threes, they had throw-aheads for dunks. Loyola's got to be vigilant on their transition defense, make or miss, and that was not it right there. They got bailed out.
4 of 11 from 3-point range right now. 1 for 3 in the second half so far for the Flyers. 2.5 minutes gone by. Edwards trying to go back to Rubin. Now they get inside on a post up on Latong. One-on-one. He scores it.
Need to keep attacking the big freshman. They did a great job by Rubin to sit on him, get his arms out. The sophomore got the reception and laid it in.
Like the concerted effort by the Ramblers to get him involved early. He's got a game-high 13 points. Santos, and he is being held by Dawson. And that's Jaden Dawson's second. .74 points over the last 3 games for Dawson. He's got the 3 tonight. What did Coach Valentine tell us before the game? He's losing himself in the game.
Yeah, and you could tell he's enjoying himself. He's, as they say in soccer all the time, he's enjoying his football. He's enjoying his basketball right now.
Yes.
And he's seeing a big basket when he's shooting. He's playing confident, but he's not forcing things. It's all letting it come to him.
How much fun do you have doing the soccer this year, by the way, the Vermont National Championship?
It's a lot of fun. To call a national championship is pretty cool. The Catamounts, first time ever in any sport winning a national championship.
There's Smith.
You got Watson. He's fronting Zed Key now. The good help side by Quinn.
Now he's caught in a triple team. Zed Key, the shot clock goes off. What about that defense by the Ramblers?
It's the execution, too, because, again, what they went over in shoot-around, how they're going to switch and when they're going to switch. And when Key rolls into the post and a guard's on him, they call it redding or whiting. You're going to front him. You're not letting it go in. Now, the problem with that is you have to have weak side help. Quinn is reading it, comes over, shot clock is ticking down. That is well executed. And from taking game plan into action, that is critical.
Excellent execution that time by the Ramblers, who get it back with a 4-point lead. And here is Watson. Forces it inside. Good up. Faking a block by Key.
Now, Key is different than Latong. This is a 5th-year senior that played at Ohio State. He's got more body and physicality to him. They ran a little up screen from Quinn into DeLoach. This is a good play, well executed, but it's not going to be easy to finish around or through Key. Doesn't mean you don't attack him. It's just different than it's Latong, for sure.
I thought he's really done a nice job of his role. He was a starter, then he started to come off the bench since the January 18th game. Struggled a little bit. He's really picked it up. And foul now on Cheeks, and the 3-point shooter Edwards is going to go to the line for 3.
And you see a little bit more on Zed Key, but this was miscommunication right there. Remember, they usually almost always go 2-3 zone. I thought some guys, remember the last possession of the half, though, they went man.
Yep.
Some guys were kind of slow to identify what they were in and what they were doing. This is too easy for Sheldon Edwards, one of the best shooters in the conference. It's 75% of his shots from the 3-point line. He is getting them up. You've got to close out on that better. They're confirming if it was a 2 or a 3. And it is 3. Good job by Doug Sermons coming alerting us what the quick review was. I walked into the gym here before shoot-around, and Edwards getting shots up.
Yeah.
And worked with managers and one of the assistant coaches, and they did say he's one of those guys they have to kick out of the gym. He wants to be in there too long. You got to get him out. So they give him 20 minutes on game days, and then you got to go get rested.
One more for Edwards. We'll tell you about our NBA Saturday primetime game coming your way tomorrow on ABC and ESPN+. LeBron, Luka leading the Lakers against the Nuggets, and coverage tips off with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern. Jokic, top 3 in the NBA in scoring, rebounding, and assist. He's only averaging a triple-double. Okay, right
no
now.
good. Not impressed.
Yeah.
Don't act like you're not impressed. Phenomenal game. And I mean, I'm excited for the regular season games, but love the playoffs. The NBA playoffs, there's really nothing like it, hence the commercial. Nice job blocking that, because that was about to be a lob to Key for a dunk.
DeLoach had the block. Here's Watson. Head up the floor. Finds a streaking Quinn. And they get it to the corner. Edwards going to put the 3 anyhow. He hits.
It seemed like it was too late to get to Edwards. The pass was off. But the Dayton Flyers are having flashbacks to January when Edwards did this before. It doesn't matter if his hands or feet are set. It doesn't matter if there's somebody in his face. He's putting it up, and odds are it's going down.
We've talked about this a bunch. The last 8 contested Atlantic 10 tournament champions have been different. How about some teams that are not one of those 8? You're watching 2 of them here tonight. Dayton and Loyola Chicago. They're tied for 3rd. Also on that not on that list. Number 1, George Mason right now. As you look at the standings, the Patriots are leading the A-10 this year. VCU in second, and then you have the Flyers and Loyola Chicago. I feel like 3 of those top 4 have totally a legitimate chance of winning the tournament this year.
I think that you could make an argument for 6 or 7 teams that could win this tournament. I think that's going to make it entertaining because I think that VCU should be in this tournament, NCAA tournament, no matter what. As of right now, George Mason is able to get there in the resume and you show it, but they are a tournament team, and I think either one of these teams could win the thing and be dangerous. What a block by DeLoach. But because of how their seasons have gone, injuries to the Ramblers, injuries and some struggles for Dayton, they both swooned a little bit. Their resumes don't show it, but man, that tournament's going to be unbelievable because there's so many teams that have everything to play for. It's not the SEC tournament. They want to win, but if they don't, they're still playing on.
Right.
This is different.
Yes, it is. Steal here for the Flyers. Bennett trying to take it in. It's blocked. Are they going to call it a goaltend? Yes, they will. And it's going to take us to another timeout. We'll be right back. Loyola Chicago 45, Dayton 38.
If you're visiting family, why don't you fly better? "16 flights a day from the U.S. to wherever they may be."
Let's start the bidding at $5 million. Thank you, sir.
These people of privilege, hoarding the financial advantages for far too long.
7.5 at the back.
Look at them, unaware that Robin Hood Gold members now enjoy the VIP treatment.
$10 million on the
A 3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
11 million, sir.
Once they discover their privileges are no longer exclusive, their fragile reality will plunge into disarray.
Saturday Hoops on ESPN. First, it's a top 10 showdown in the Big 12. Then it's Blue Blood versus New Blood.
This is going to be a battle.
A Sonic Blockbuster Saturday on ESPN.
We got some awesome games for you coming up tomorrow. And Houston leading the nation in scoring defense, under 58 points a game. Iowa State top 30 in scoring offense. We're going to have to deal with a couple of guys out. What about for you, Dell, and your Saturday selections? What else we got on this list for tomorrow?
Iowa State-Houston game. It could be a Final Four match. I'm excited for that. Underdog pick. A&M is a home underdog right now by about 1.5 points, which is surprising to me. I think the Aggies, and could be a bloodbath between Tennessee and A&M, will be fun. Arkansas, they're under the radar because they don't have a tournament resume right now. They have some good wins, and Missouri coming into their building might be almost like the Alamo. Like you gotta stand tall there. And last but not least, Akron's are the longest win streak in the country. John Gross has done a great job. 14 straight. They're on ESPN2, 6 o'clock. Taking on Ohio to keep it going to 15.
Yeah, some good stuff right there. Missouri with that win over Alabama the other night too as well. And then we talk about the win streak with Akron. Second longest win streak. George Mason, the Patriots here on the intent. And that is a 3-ball by Des Watson, and Loyola Chicago's up 10.
I love what honestly what Dayton did though. We said it going to break. I want to see them press, maybe break up the rhythm, speed up Dayton, Loyola Chicago. A team that has turnover issues, but not today. They handled it well, and they buried it 3, and the answer from Latong not there.
Rebound Watson. He's already at his average with 13 points. He's got 4 rebounds as well and a couple of assists. That time, foul on Bennett.
The problem sometimes when you press, though, is you can give up open shots and you're going to get somebody in transition. They were able to break it down. Good drop off to Rubin, relocate, hands and feet ready, buries the triple. And that's, again, only their third made 3 of the game. 38% of their offense, at second A-10, comes from the 3-point line. They've done it mostly in the interior. And then there, because Rubin got the deep touch, he had the guys collapse, kicks it out for the open triple.
Watson gets it in and off the screen for 3. It's Jaden Dawson. We're going to call it a 2. Focus on the line. He's got 5 points.
They went man-to-man under right there, and they got burned again on it.
Josh Alexander's drive doesn't go. Rebound by Wakoria. Here's Quinn. Quinn trying to back down Cheeks. Cheeks knocked it out of his hands.
Easy, we'll talk. Wow, look at 7 foot, good crossover.
Taking it all the way down the court. Finds Santos. Corner 3. Fouled, and he just missed. And he's got 3 free throws coming.
Man, I'm impressed by Letong. Head up, crossing guys over in the open court. But Jaden Quinn, he's always going to come back to his left hand. Great job by Enoch Cheeks, understanding the scouting report that got the turnover. And then Santos got to give him room to land. That's a good call. Body contact, 3 big free throws. And I want them to stay with the press here. If he makes these free throws, they're not selling out on it. They're just pressing him a little bit and making him feel it. Again, Loyola Chicago turns it over in league play on 18% of their possessions, bottom 5 in the league. And today, they've done a great job of taking care of the ball, just 5 TOs.
Yeah, you said that. Let's see if they do put on a little bit of pressure here, and depending what Santos does. As there's his family's in the house here tonight. His mom, Lori, who played at Wichita State. His dad, Joe. Brother, KJ, at Missouri. And, you know, he's not far from here. He grew up in Geneva, Illinois, which is about 48 miles away here from Loyola Chicago. About an hour and a half drive with the traffic. And
depends on what time of day around this part, on these parts.
Yeah. But, you know, as you've said before, sometimes when you got friends and family in the house, it's kind of a tough night. And he started out with 2 quick fouls, and he had to go to the bench early. Now, let's see what he can do here in the second half, trying to help will his team back. He's a guy that averages 14 points a game and has been a huge key factor for this Dayton team this year. He's got 4 so far tonight.
And he doesn't need to force it. This team, again, has a lot of different guys that can help as they do pick up full court. And this is about chipping away at this lead right now. And really, defensively is where they have to do it. They have to get some stops. That's when they've been best, when they've been in transition, as Bennett tried to pick the pocket of Bohinsu.
Second foul on Bennett, 13 foul for Dayton here in the second half. But you're okay with the aggressive play right now.
I want it.
Right?
I think they have to change up the rhythm of the game and find a way to defend better right now, because Loyola Chicago has been very comfortable and they've been very successful getting the ball deep on post touches to Rubin or to DeLoach, or to get their guards in the lane to create. It's been a big problem.
Largest lead of this game was 12 for Loyola Chicago. Little mini 3-0 run here by the Flyers.
And I will say too, Dayton is first in the league. Oh, and Watson is saying stepped on the line, stepped in over the line, I should say. And Ron Gruber was right there to make the call. But Dayton is number 1 in the league in turnover rate defensively. They force 20% of their possessions, the other team, to turn it over. And they've not been able to do that. That does ignite a lot of their offense, so that's important.
Only the 6th Loyola turnover here, 19 in the first meeting, so doing a much better job.
19 turnovers led to 19 points for the Flyers. A couple of them were just turnovers for touchdowns. Easy dunks.
Bennett for 3. It is in and out, and a whistle and a foul on a rebound. And it's going the other way. And while we have this opportunity,
I think that's on Santos too.
It's going to be his 3rd. Back to that out of bounds play, because, you know, we had this and we had actually talked about it for a moment the other night.
Yep.
You've got to be, as an inbounder, your foot needs to step over the line into the court and the field of play for it to be a violation. If you step on the line, on the white line, it's not a violation. And I want to go back to something we had said previously last week. George Mason had an inbounds play like that late in the game at St. Louis, and it was correct as a no call because the player had stepped right on the white line. Not a violation. You got to step over it onto the court. And that was a big win for Mason on the road at St. Louis, and rightfully so. And they've won 11 games in a row, but just for fans' purposes, that's the rule.
Mike Corey set the record straight.
Yeah.
We stuck our foot in our mouth. Good job. Well done. I will say this, we didn't talk to the refs before. Something got lost in communication about that specific call, yeah. But it is clarified. It was the right call in the court, and George Mason won.
Letong for 3. No good. Front rim rebound. Cheeks. Got it to Bennett. Bennett's run is blocked from behind. That time by Lacoria.
It's actually a gift to get it back out to Cheeks. And again, he needs to look to take Rubin right now. Go by him.
And he does. He's bumped and fouled, and he's going to get 2 at the line here. Do they say on the floor?
And Doug Sermons is pointing to the floor. Underneath.
Yep, underneath. You're right.
Now, what the Flyers have done a really good job today is identifying when they do have their switches, when the bigs are on their guards, to drive those guards. They've not settled for threes. They need to keep making that identification. Here, Rubin's one of the best shot blockers in the country, top 20 in the nation with over 2.3 a game. Goes by him, and then Quinn comes over, an easy call. Anthony Grant's upset, saying it's a shooting foul, but where Quinn made the initial contact, I thought he was on the ground. It was tight though.
Santos goes up top here for Latong, now for Malachi Smith. Coming up on 12 minutes to go in this game here tonight. It's an 11-point lead for the Ramblers. Smith. The runner. Back rim, Latong tipped it. Smith able to get it, and he puts it back up and in.
And this time he used the backboard underneath, because that's what that first shot is so tough when you're trying to go over outstretched arms right into the hoop. The backboard is your friend, although in modern college basketball it doesn't seem that way.
Now here's Edwards as he bounces it in to DeLoach. And a foul. They're going to say Latong a little bit over the top that time. And we got a timeout. Ramblers try to push it back up to double digits from Chicago when we return. The announcement coming down yesterday, the great Fran Dunphy announcing his retirement at the end of this season. 3 years with LaSalle. Great job coming back to help at his alma mater. Want to get them going on the right track. They did the renovations, the Tom Goa Arena there. Looks awesome now. And, you know, the years that he spent at Penn, Temple, you've known him well, Dallin. You're playing against him, right, for many years.
Yeah, 7 of those 623 wins are courtesy of me and my Columbia Lions. We did beat them one time, but an amazing man that was a great ambassador of the game, a great teacher of the game, a great father figure to so many players. And we always used to play in the back-to-back games in the Ivy League, Friday and Saturday night. My senior year, I'm coming back from injury, just broke my foot. First game back, we're playing at Princeton. We lose in overtime. Part of why we lost in overtime is late game, coming out of a timeout, the referees put the ball down. So you sprint over there to get the ball in. Your senior captain, high basketball IQ, goes Chris Webber on him, calls timeout. No timeouts. So we lose the game. Now, the next day we go to Penn. Fran seeks me out before the game to tell me, hey, in so many words, that was bullcrap that they put the ball down on you. You know, you're like, get your head up. We're about to play. And he comes over and makes a point of saying that to me to make an opponent feel better about what happened. Yeah. They went on to beat us in that game. I think he knew he was okay. They were going to get the W. So, yeah, great dude. Outstanding coach, and congratulations to him on an amazing career.
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, now you get a little bit more time, Fran, to spend with the grandkids and everything, and you well-deserved, by the way. And listen, 40th in NCAA history with 623 career wins. Again, congratulations to you, Fran, and all the best. We'll see you down the line for sure.
For sure.
Under 12 minutes to go on this Friday night here in Chicago. Loyola Chicago trying to pay back Dayton for that 2-point overtime loss last month. Malachi Smith got it back. That's a three. It's short. Rebound DeLoach.
That was the first time a Flyer guard had a switch with a big. DeLoach was on Smith, and Smith made the wrong decision. You had the whole side cleared out. Forced the issue. He got bailed out. He got lucky because Santos got the rebound. He got a wide open three. But they've got to be able to identify those opportunities and take advantage of them. Especially Smith, a high-level IQ point guard.
DeLoach spinning, and Santos, it doesn't go. The tip goes up and in.
I think that went off a Flyer lap, but it doesn't matter. It counts for DeLoach, who was the last Rambler to touch it.
Largest lead of the night for Loyola Chicago at 13. Smith. It's Simon for three. Wow, we'll take that.
Wow is right. I mean, that is a huge shot by a guy that's 2 for 4 on the year. I mean, in league play. I mean, we don't see him take many. Good ball take by Edwards.
Edwards is in and out. That might be a foul over the back on DeLoach, and it is. So Dayton gets a break there as well.
And a great box out by Simon. So he combines a great, jump shot on one side with a defensive effort play. Good minutes after having a rough first half.
Simon is the 9th Flyer to score here tonight.
DeLoach spinning. We could say winning because on the rebound, I mean, he got a piece of it. He'll get the credit. He worked hard, but. And Simon, they were going to give him the shot. DeLoach late closeout. He knocks it down. A sophomore from Georgia.
He's now 3 of 10 on the season from three-point range. Speaking of threes, Bennett.
Don't go under. They went under the handoff because Bennett has NBA range. Not a terrible shot for him. He hasn't gotten many today. It was a quick one, but not a terrible one, given how they guarded it.
Three-pointers are not going down right now for the Flyers in the second half. 2 of 10.
They have no Latong or Key on the floor. It's a rarity
Dawson for three. Finds that one, rebounds Santos. Stutter step, takes it in on play. Nice run. Nate Santos for two. He's got 7.
That's again, when they're playing in transition, they're a different team right now. As Drew Valentine will take a timeout. But to play in transition, you got to get stops. It feels like it's bigger than an 8-point game right now. The Flyers are right there. If they can just string together stops and get out and play ahead of the defense, they're fine. Here's Santos, little stutter step. Ruben kind of frozen off the window.
So this Loyola team trailed by 13 at Dayton back on January 18th, and then they fell by 2 in overtime. They've led by 13 tonight. It's down to 8. We'll see if the Flyers have a comeback in them here to try to sweep the season series.
Who doesn't love synergy? And stat synergy even better. Our great statistician Lee hooking us up. And this is the thing. When you're playing on the road, you're going to have to deal with adversity. There's going to be moments or stretches in a game where you go through it. The question is, have they weathered that? Can they now get some stops and come the other way? I wonder if they go through their 1-3-1. Dayton has not thrown that out yet today. At times they will sprinkle in some zone to give a different look. But with this lineup, it's a little smaller. I'm not sure they do that. You want a little bit of size in that zone.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Big thanks to Lee Torban on stats with us today. A good friend, UMass grad, of course, that's why. Alongside Dallin Cuff, Mike Corey, our producer, Adam Daly, our director, Mike Dressman. We're here from Chicago, Illinois on this Friday night for the Atlantic 10 Friday Night Showcase. And we are down to an 8-point game here.
Now, we saw early on Ruben attacking Latong. They were trying to make a concerted effort to get it into the paint. I wonder if they do the same thing. Again, these are not a true centers guarding Ruben. They try to get him in the interior. There's the cross screen. They try to. Good double. Switch.
Up top, Watson. Goes by Santos. The runner doesn't go, and Smith has the rebound.
Dayton handled it well. That was the cross screen. They had kind of 2 guys go with it. They got communicating and fixed it. Good extra pass.
Santos for 3. In and out. Dawson.
He's hit so many of those in his career. I just assumed that one was going in.
He's 0 for 2 tonight from 3-point range.
Good job by Simon pushing Ruben that far off the block. He can't really operate out there. Whoa.
I don't know. A little bit of a stutter step from there from Dawson. Didn't get it. Ruben got the offensive rebound. Now trapped in the corner here. Edwards got knocked out of his hands, making Watson, and it stays with Loyola Chicago. He wanted a foul. Cheeks knocked it out. 16 to shoot here for the Ramblers.
I love this adjustment by Anthony Grant. This group is defending the best we've seen them defend so far. And it's, again, that's how their offense has been ignited to play in some sort of transition right now.
That's what it's going to come down to, right? If this team's going to make a run, they just got to bear down defensively, right? I mean, they got.
Yeah, that's their biggest issue. I mean, they're 166 in the nation of defensive efficiency, 11th in A10 play. This is a team that the last 5 years has never been outside the top 3.
Right.
So this is an adjustment for them, but they have some limitations without the same shot blockers they've had in the past. And, you know, maybe not the most athletic wings, but this group right now is defended well.
They've got scores. And a steal here, Santos. Santos blocking foul on Dawson, and that's going to be his 4th.
That's where Dawson, you're too good of a player. Knowing you got 3, it's more important if you get your 4th than anything else. Secondly, in today's modern college basketball, you got to be stationary before that plant foot and he starts his motion up. That's never going to happen in a fast break scenario. It's just, he's not even close to getting the spot. What you do is you jump straight up, contest, wall up, you have the verticality from the ground up and try to make a play on the ball. That's the best you can do.
And he wasn't square there. He was on the side. A legal guarded position. You got to be seeing the player with your chest, and he was not. And they got called a foul.
And again, with his value, the reigning A10 player of the week with 25 points a game the last 3 games, I wouldn't be fine if it just let him score there. Don't take the foul.
College basketball tomorrow for you. It all starts 2 o'clock Eastern. Iowa State and Houston. And then we got Georgia, #1 Auburn, and then Kentucky and Alabama tomorrow on ESPN. Or Sonic Blockbuster. Big day in college hoops.
Fun day in the studio.
Yep, you'll be there.
My shift starts at 4 o'clock, so we get the #1 team in the nation. We're good to go. Usually it's the noon game, but the game day guys will take care of noon and the 2 Iowa State, Houston, and then Kentucky, Arkansas late. Wow, that can't happen.
Santos, the rebound off the missed free throw.
And he flexed, and he's hyped up. Now they're pressing. The Flyers are starting to feel it a little bit right now. Loyola Chicago has to handle the ball well and execute. They need a bucket.
It's a 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 25 seconds of counting for the Flyers. They're down 6, but they're going to get called for a foul underneath.
Hey guys, Malachi Smith, I couldn't see it in live action.
Yep. This first.
Now this is basketball 1-on-1. Who's got the shooter? Watson goes behind. They were pinching on the far side. Watson has to step to the shooter and take him out.
Usually sometimes the shooter goes over the line too soon and the ball didn't hit the rim, but he waited, the ball hit the rim, and then it bounces. Like, oh, okay, I can go get it. Oh, speaking of hitting a three and going to get it, it's Watson, and that's money as they're up 9 now. And Bennett blocked by Rubin. And then Edwards got his pocket picked by Smith. Staying with him in the offensive end. Fighting through all comers. A lot of contact. Ball's on the deck. And we do have a foul called. Ron Gruber came in and said we've got a foul.
That's on the Ramblers. Out of bounds unders have been a problem for the Flyers in this game. This was out of the under. Quick reversal. Great ball fake. Big shot by Watson to put him up 9. Arena, where the Loyola Chicago Ramblers up by 9 after a big 3 by Des Watson. He's had a huge game. He had 18 in the first meeting between these two teams, but was inefficient. 6 of 17 to get there. Not the case today. 7 for 11, done on the defensive end. He's made really smart plays and reads. He's got 3 assists along with his 16 points. Having a huge game, really stepping up for Jaden Dawson, who's dealt with foul trouble, hasn't played that well. This young man's been critical in their 9-point lead, and that shot they needed. 7-0 spurt was just what Dayton was on and rolling. To have the poise, a shot fake, and bury that 3 in that moment was huge.
And conversely, on the other side, Cheeks, who's got 13 points to lead the Flyers. He's only had 2, though, here in the second half. Bennett, and fouled underneath on his drive.
Now he will go 1-1 right now. That's both teams are heading into the bonus. And Bennett, a good free throw shooter, 81.5% in league play.
Second foul on Jalen DeLoach here for the Ramblers. That's the 17th foul. There are 6 on the Flyers. Oh, and he missed the front half of the 1-on-1. Santos in the rebound, he got fouled. And it's DeLoach again.
Foul shot box outs. I mean, that's 2 in the last few minutes. Santos got his own as the free throw shooter. Now he gets 1 here. I mean, these are critical moments where they're finding a way on the road to stay in this thing.
Yeah, it's
and
totally
DeLoach
he's
hugging him from behind. It's an easy call. And DeLoach is the inside guy. What you're supposed to do is step into his lower body, arms up, and then go attack the ball.
Santos has his 10th point of the night. 4 of 6 now at the free throw line. Sister Jean up on the scoreboard here.
Well, with the voodoo stuff behind you, to the black and white, it's supposed to like zombie them out. Now we've got some other kittens up there.
Would you be looking up that high?
We played in El Paso my freshman year at UTEP in their tournament. We were playing them. We won the game. It was late. But when you shot free throws, you looked right at, you put yourself on the screen.
Oh, wow.
And you'd see right through there. And our Marco McContry, shout out to Big Marco, the senior captain, steps up, makes 2 free throws with like a second left. And he was the good free throw shooter. Looking at himself through the glass. I've never seen that before.
Great.
It was really weird, the angle.
4,557, officially a sellout here tonight inside Gentile Arena. Fans have been electric from the start. And this team right here that's tough to beat at home. They're 13-1 at home this season. Loyola Chicago is. DeLoach with another free throw. Wow.
I mean, in league play, Jay DeLoach is shooting 44% from the stripe, and that is a big-time free throw. And
Simon with a foul for Dayton.
Yeah, and really an unnecessary foul, too. You're allowing DeLoach to go to the line here, but honestly, I'm sure Anthony Grant's staff is probably like, that's not the worst thing in the world. Dar, he misses that first one. He does not. See if he converts the second.
Look pretty good on those 2, yeah.
How is he at 44? I mean, looks like a 75% at minimum.
How many times has he been there? Well, 28 of 58 coming in.
Yeah.
Sound like it was 4 of 10. Here's Santos driving, fade away, tough one. He nails it.
he's got to know Okorie's got foul trouble too. So if he's going to keep driving him, that could be fruitful.
Flyers right in this thing. It's a 7-point game here. Under 7 minutes to go in the contest. Edwards. He initiated the contact. That's an offensive. And a good call by Brent Hampton.
Trying to take Edon Cheeks off the bounce is a lot of times a losing proposition. He is a very good defender. Very good feet, body position, and hands. And Edwards just tried to go right through him.
Yep, right there.
Easy call.
9th Loyola team foul here in the second half. Edwards with his first foul of the game.
Oh, Santos, got to be careful out there.
Simon for 3. Well, he did it earlier, so why not? And that time it's off, and a fight for it, and it's rebounded by Watson.
Two very different shots. The one before was a step in, catch and shoot 3. Here he's off the bounce, and then a late closeout was coming at him early in the shot clock. Not necessary.
Yeah, they can't really be too happy with that possession. Here's DeLoach now working on Simon. Simon holds his ground. DeLoach, no, and a good job by Santos to come in to get the rebound and almost fell out of bounds, got to Bennett.
One thing they know is when DeLoach catches it in the block, he is never throwing it out almost, so you don't need to worry about being helped and getting the guy kicking out, which is sometimes problematic. I'd like to see Malachi Smith add some screening action here, maybe drive a mismatch or get downhill.
Simon to Santos for 3. And a very big contingent of Dayton fans here. It's not that far, 4.5, 5 hours away, and they're cheering on the Flyers as they're within 4.
And now both sets of fans coming to life. Good drive by Malachi to draw 2, kicks to Simon, and then Simon makes the right play, the extra pass to the better shooter, and he buries it. And he got height going the other way, but then committed kind of an unnecessary foul, and that was his 4th. And that's the problem. Now you're going to put a free throw shooter in the line. It's a good free throw shooter, and one of your best players got a foul. Now Doug Sermons is looking to confirm who the shooter is.
Santos had picked up 2 fouls early in this game. Didn't do too much in the first half. 2 points. He's got 14 second half points of his 16 here. But now, as you said, has picked up his 4th personal foul. And he is staying in right now with 5:43 to go.
He's got to be smart. And he's picked up a couple cheap ones. Offensive rebounding attempt. Here, it was just a little bit of traffic, and you could have let that guy face cut in front of you and been fine. At that point, there was not really a scoring cut.
Quinn. That is a big miss. Simon the rebound. Here's Smith. Flyers can get within 2, within 1 if they hit a 3. Smith. Simon hands it off. Cheeks. Cheeks, tough fadeaway, foul line, jumper, no. Simon trying to get the offensive rebound, and we got a foul. He's going to be called for it.
He tried to wedge Rubin in there and just kind of undercut him a little bit. So now, but Rubin again, not a good free throw shooter stepping to the line here. In league play, he's 42%, 10 of 24. And his shot can come a little bit of side spin, if you will. So everybody's got a KYP, no personnel. You're boxing out, and you got to pursue the rebound. Assuming he misses.
It was a 13-point Loyola Chicago lead at 56-43. Dayton is on a 14-5 run. Rubin at the line. He misses. Santos has it. Smith to the corner. Cheeks.
That's great transition defense, because I thought they were going to get a good 3-point look. Good conversion by the Ramblers.
A lot of time left in this game. Just over 5 minutes. Smith up and under on Rubin. That's a tough shot there. He got it back somehow. Lost it. It's Ramblers' possession.
And it's good. And Anthony Grant saying, guys, you got to pass the ball. Got to get the ball movement. It's good to drive the big when you have the mismatch. If he does a good job, that's fine. You can kick it back out. Now he can come back out and you can boomerang the ball right back to him and go back at the big, or you can do something else. You don't have to shoot it because
So
you're in there, especially with the best
out there.
Yeah, one of the best shot blockers in the country is right there on you. There's not much you're going to do there. I mean, this is a team that has 60% of their field goals are assisted, the Dayton Flyers. They've got 12 today. They usually share the ball really well, but you have to do it in critical moments.
Ramblers on the other end. They've got 18 assists on 25 made baskets.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. Normally, it's a pretty good recipe for success. We'll give you some of those numbers in a moment. Edwards for three. That is no good. Rubin the offensive rebound. Watson now for three. That is no good. Bennett has it. Javon Bennett.
Dawson's got 4.
Oh, Santos is fouled by Jaden Dawson. You said it. He is fouled out.
That was smart, man. Those guys went screening action. They switched it. And Santos wanted that post up. And Dawson has to just be a little more patient to not do that. It's easy to say sitting over here. But tough day for him all night.
Well, it's tough to keep up the pace that he was on, that's for sure. He had 74 points in the last 3 games. The reigning Atlantic 10 Player of the Week, obviously frustrated here tonight. He leaves the game with 5 on 2 of 8 shooting, 1 for 4 from three-point range, and is fouled out.
17 threes in that run, too.
Yeah.
So what he does, when he's not able to play, it does change the way they play. We talk how reliant on three-pointers they are. Him not on the floor does shrink the court for some guys in driving lanes. Which has been critical.
Here was Coach Valentine's keys to winning games with his team that he talked about today. He's like, you know, our recipe for success, guys, 10 or more offensive rebounds, 15 or more assists, and 10 or less turnovers per game. Right now, they got 7 offensive rebounds, 18 assists, and 9 turnovers. So 2 of the 3 right now on pace. But they're in a 2-point game, almost stolen away from Quinn.
And the turnovers one is tight now because Dayton has continued to extend their defense. They've taken some rhythm away. They've made the Ramblers play under more pressure than they had the first 25 minutes or so of this game.
There's Watson. Shot clock is down to 5. Des Watson. Cheeks is on him. Watson got it after time. Got it! He's got 18. Bennett. Step back over Rubin. How about that?
I think he got fouled first, and it didn't matter. He hit a tough step back over the 7-foot, a big shot blocker.
Bennett's got 9 points. He's 4 of 10 from the field. It's back to a 2-point game with 3.5 to go. Simon tries to reach in. Almost a foul on Williamson. Kicks it to the corner, Watson. Edwards back up top for Quinn. On the drive. Wild runner, no, but he got fouled. And he'll shoot free throws when we return.
Well, overtime last time. Coming down to the wire again. It looks like a carbon copy. Double-digit lead, never safe with these two teams. How about the touch on the rim from Watson? And now Bennett the other way. He got the switch, drives him. He could have called a foul there. He didn't need it. Step back. Give me that. 2-point game. Back here in Gentile Arena, Nate Santos grew up about 50 miles from Chicago. Didn't have a good first half. He's having a great second half. This little missed free throw helped get him going. Just hustle play, poor communication by the Ramblers to block out the shooter. He's got 16 of his 18 in the second half right now, making pull-ups, making threes. They were down by 13 with just under 11 minutes to play. It is now a 2-point game, largely because Santos has carried this team back into contention. Weird stat, Mike. The Flyers are 11-1 when Santos takes 10 or more field goal attempts. That's not about they don't want him to shoot. It's when they rely on everybody else and he's part of the mix. This team excels. Well, that theory is going to be tested because he's going over 10 field goal attempts and they're going to need it today. Yep. And he's going to need to continue to play at this level. He's got 7 of 9 from the free throw line, too.
One more and he's got it. 5 of 9 from the field. And you said it, but he's got to watch it with the 4 personal fouls. He just had Jaden Dawson foul out for Loyola Chicago. And now here's Quinn at the free throw line, pushes the lead up to 3. You had said this before we went to timeout. Since Loyola Chicago joined the Atlantic 10, 3 of the 4 meetings versus Dayton have been decided by 5 points or less, including the last 2. It went to overtime last game on January 18th in Dayton, 83-81.
And it was a 60-foot alley-oop to win the game. We don't see that very often.
What do we have here tonight? Cheeks powers his way inside and got fouled.
This is where coaching comes into play here. And Anthony Grant dialing up in the out of timeout, after timeout play. Cheeks loves to cut out of the corner. to the rim. They empty the other side. It's a two-man game with him and Simon. He fakes that coming off because they were trying to deny him coming off the handoff. They knew that. They back cut it. He gets a good look.
All right, coming up on Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern on ESPN. We got College Game Day on the women's side live from Raleigh, North Carolina, kicking off our triple header coverage, which is outstanding. #1 Notre Dame in action, taking on number 13 NC State. And again, North Carolina, Louisville, and then LSU and Kentucky. It's a big day on the women's side on Sunday.
Now they kind of had a little token pressure. They get it to Ohinsu because Santos is guarding him. He's not going to pick up full with those 4 fouls.
2-point game here. 3 minutes to go in the contest from Chicago. Both teams tied at 8-5 in the Atlantic 10 for 3rd place.
They switched. Rubens got Bennett on him, but they corrected it. Good job.
Now Simon's back on him up top here for Edwards. Very hounded to Watson. Step back 3. He got hit. Well, no call. Rebound is picked up by Bennett. The last time we were tied, it was 21-all. Rebound will ensue. And we stay in a 2-point lead for Loyola Chicago. Quinn hit the deck. Back the other way. Edwards for 3. Huge. A foul on the Ramblers here, but how big on that 3-pointer by Edwards?
But the refs are conferring, is it a shot or was it on the ground there? We'll come back to that in a second. Great advance pass by Ohinsu, and Edwards did not hesitate. Now,
well, they're in the double bonus.
But was it a 3?
Was it a 3?
That's
right,
exactly the question right now.
Yeah.
And they're trying to explain it to both coaches right now because that was almost NBA-esque.
Yeah, let's take a look at it here and we'll see. It's a 5-point lead.
We see in the NBA all the time when you they start to reach in as you are ripping down and you come to shoot.
Two minutes and 16 seconds to play in this game. 5-point Loyola Chicago advantage. Cheeks is going to the line here.
You take a look. It's tough because they do it all the time in the NBA. Usually the shot gets further up there. He's more in his motion. They're going to confirm that it is just a 2-shot foul on the ground because we are in a double bonus.
Yeah, it didn't really look like that was a shooting motion. They just kind of trying to throw the ball at him. He knew he was getting fouled, but that's a big miss too. You look at the free throw line here tonight for the Flyers. They're 13 of 17. With a good percentage, it's 77%.
He's an 83% free throw shooter too. Like in league play, you don't expect that miss in this moment. Can he get the second one? He does. Allows him to set a little bit of pressure too.
Their misses have all come here in the second half at the line. It's now a 4-point game. Still over 2 minutes to go here.
And they got to be communicating. They're going to switch everything. Make sure who's switching where. And if you're the Ramblers, and there've been a lot of fouls away from the ball in this second half. And that might be on Santos.
It is. Santos is fouled out.
And he can't believe it. He's trying to get an explanation. Can we see it here? He's on Ohinsu. That's tough. His arms are out. That's a tough one, especially again when it's not a scoring cut or really an aggressive play. I will say this, that's the 4th or 5th foul away from the ball. I just don't agree with that one being a call in this moment. I know what you're supposed to say. It's a foul at any point in time. Then I would say that's never a foul in my mind.
I would agree with you. I mean, he's trying to fight through that screen there. I'm not.
It's tough. Yeah. Now, the problem with it, everybody's going to focus on that last foul. He's going to be frustrated at that. He had 2 fouls early in the game that shouldn't have been fouls. Correct. Like he should not have made those motions to create the foul. And that's what you can focus on too. Not just the last one, but that was a tough one to go out on.
Right. And to your point, though, is you put yourself in that situation from what happened in the first half on your own accord, though, like you said. So
now you do have 2 guys, 3 Simon and 24 Connor, playing in this game that have not really played in crunch time all year in big minutes, especially on the road. So we'll see how they perform. Connor can make a 3. Simon's got to continue to be a ball mover, screener, and if it's open late shot clock, we saw him in a 3 early in this game. But this is a chance for guys to step up in some roles here.
I mean, Santos had 16 of Dayton's 33 points in this second half. Simon off the miss. 5-point lead here for the Ramblers. A lot of time left. Smith on the drive, rejected by Rubin. Saved for going out by Quinn, but right to Bennett. Now Cheeks for three. Got a good look, and he missed it off the back rim. Another rebound by Bennett. Bennett, the floating runner. Look at this guy.
All 5'10" of them making plays, getting offensive rebounds.
He's got 11 points here. And that was big time. 3-point game with 1:30 to go. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Possession arrow favors Dayton if we get a jump.
Now there's Simon is holding Rubin. Now you got to adjust to how the game is being called. This is now probably the 5th of this. There are maybe 5 calls in the second half, all on Dayton. If they're calling the game this way, you have to adjust to what they're doing. And these are not scoring cuts. Let Rubin run over the top and continue to play. He was running away from the ball. Look at 24. And Simon's on him, and now when he starts to go away the other way, he's going to start to hold his body. You just don't need to do it. Right. It's just unnecessary.
No, it's a good call, and it's going to send Rubin to the free throw line here for 2 free throws. Both teams in the double bonus. Ooh. Yeah, as you said it, as soon as he put that one up, you're like, that's off, and it was. He's got one more. Rubin is now 1 for 4 at the free throw line tonight. He's a 54% free throw shooter on the season, so maybe not the worst thing in the world there on that foul. And he gets 1 of 2.
They made it a 2-possession ball game. That was big. This is a possession game with $1:20 to go. As Edwards comes out and they go a little offense, defense. Wakoria, who's dealt with some foul trouble, he's in. Wahinsu's in. Very good on-ball defenders, as is Quinn.
Smith, Simon, Connor, Bennett, and Cheeks, the 5 on the court here for the Dayton Flyers. Bennett slips, got it back out to Simon.
Cheeks,
Simon with a crossover to the hole. Rejected by Rubin. And it's saved, but right into the hands of Cheeks. Cheeks lost it. Simon's got it. Shot clock at 15. Smith to Bennett for 3. It's no good. Simon another offensive rebound. Cheeks.
Timeout. You might want to time. Okay, he's going to go.
45 seconds to go. Ooh. Ball by Quinn. Cheeks, step back 3. No good. Rebound, and it's by Wakoria, and he gets it to Quinn with 35 seconds to go.
They got a foul.
Got a foul. Cheeks knocked it out of his hands. Wakoria's got it. He almost got it stolen, but they did call the foul.
And then Bennett diving for the ball. He may have made contact with Brett Hampton. He's laying down on the ground. And he actually hurt his thumb in this game last year and had to miss the second half of the game. But Quinn thinks he's going to get fouled. No call.
Let's hope Bennett's okay. Now, did they say a foul, or he just knocked the ball out of bounds?
But yeah, he didn't make contact with the referee. It's how he was going down. He's okay. He's up.
It is a foul, and it's on Bennett. Yeah.
That possession was wild. The amount of offensive rebounds, and Bennett got a good look. The problem, too, with Santos out of the game, it's who needs the ball in their hands late game. Again, Simon's learning in this situation. That's not his time to go one-on-one. Again, one of the top 20 shot blockers in the country. The best in the A-10. You don't need a one-on-one with him. You need Cheeks to have the ball in his hands at some point in that possession, or Smith to be cueing something for you.
I mean, Miles Rubin, as Wakoria misses the free throw. Miles Rubin's got 4 blocks in each of the last 3 versus the Dayton Flyers. He's got 62 blocks in the season, 12th in the country, number 1 in the A-10. And you're right, Dallin. So many players just trying to take it in. Big number 24 for Loyola Chicago, and their result is not usually favorable.
In the Loyola Chicago, this has been a bugaboo all year. They do not shoot free throws well. A team that shoots threes at a pretty exceptional rate doesn't shoot free throws in the same clip, and that's a bit of a problem right now.
They're keeping them in the game here. It's 11 of 20 from the free throw line, 55% for the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. Watson with 18 points. It leads Loyola Chicago. Santos has fouled out. He's got a Dayton Flyers high 18. Points in the paint was big coming in. 32 points in the paint here for Loyola Chicago, 26 for the Flyers. But this is what we expected in this game here tonight. We're coming down to the finish. 31 seconds to go, 4-point game.
You did. The 22 points in the paint in the first half. The Flyers have defended so much better in the second half, keeping them out of their paint, making it tough. This lineup that's different with no Zed Key, Isaac Jack is out injured, or Latong. They've gone with basically 5 kind of wing players and a couple non-centers, if you will, in the game. And it's helped their defense. and it hasn't hurt them rebounding. Now, they've obviously just called a timeout to set up whatever they're going to run after this free throw, make or miss, for the Flyers. And I really do think it's got to be late game when they needed it last time. Smith had the ball in his hands the whole time, and he delivered. This game's not been as good. He's 1 of 8, 5 assists. I think it's got to be Cheeks has got to be your guy. Coming off a little zoom action where it's a down screen into a handoff where he's had a chance to curl into the lane and make a play.
All right, Cheeks is in the corner right now. Malachi Smith going to take it to the lane, throw up the runner, and he got it.
That's it. They love that. Step up ball screen. He gets to go coast to coast.
Watson is fouled by Connor with 22.9 seconds to go.
And they work on this in shoot-around late game situations. Anthony Grant runs this play quite a bit where it's kind of like you're going to set up a step-up ball screen and kind of ghosted out of it. Didn't really even set it, but gets Wakoria to kind of react to it. He's got foul trouble too, so he's in trouble as Malachi lays it in.
One more for Watson. Loyola Chicago's been in 3 overtime games this season. The Flyers have been in 1. We said a moment ago, 3 of the 4 since Loyola has joined the Atlantic 10 has been settled by 5 or less. 2 of them in overtime. 5-point lead now for the Ramblers. 22.9 to go. 20 for Watson. Smith again.
Same set they just ran, but Watson better defended it.
Fouled, and he almost got it.
And honestly, it's a good call by Anthony Grant. He's one of the best creators in the conference and in the country. They just ran and they got to the lane and finished. Here he's able to get to his strong hand, his right hand, and get a paint touch, and now he's almost at an and 1. So if you can make these free throws, now you're setting your pressure to press. You're going to trap that first ball, pass in. You're going to step up. But first, you need Malachi to make both free throws.
First foul of the game for Watson, and that's a big miss for Smith.
He struggled early in the year. He was in the low 60s. He's worked himself up into league play, being back to where he's supposed to be. A 75% free throw shooter, but he shorted that one.
One of 2, 4-point game, timeout, Coach Grant and the Flyers.
Again, why it's so huge. That's a 1-possession game if you make that free throw. But again, with a team that shoots 66% from the free throw line in the year, this is far, and struggling right now, as we mentioned, 14-23 the Ramblers are. It's far from over.
Isn't this what we've been watching all year in the Atlantic 10? Games like this, coming down to these situations and right down to the finish. I mean, it's been fun this year, and we've got another one here on this Friday night, 73-69, 4-point game.
So for Anthony Grant here with the timeout situation, they have no timeouts left. So you're telling your team, here's how we're going to press, and then you're going to try to run through some scenarios. First of all, the pressure is going to be take away the inbound pass if you can. If you can't get it, you need a first immediate trap. With this amount of time, you want to get that trap. Maybe you get a turnover. If not, if they get out of it, then you foul. And now we're going the other way, and he will have drawn up the play. Here's where we're running. Because with a 2-possession game, regardless, you need buckets. You need points. So at this point in time, depends if it's 5 or if it's 6 or if it stays at 4, what you're going to do. But I think you still have time to get downhill and score. 2 is probably the most paramount thing. But let's see how much time comes off the clock first. And for Loyola Chicago, you got to get the ball in bounds.
Yeah.
Get it in bounds and don't get it in the dead coffin corner where you're going to get trapped.
No timeouts left for the Flyers. 2 timeouts remaining for Loyola Chicago. Possession arrow to the Flyers on a jump ball. 14.8 to go. It's going to be Kamani Wawinsu to put it in for Loyola Chicago.
It's a little bit of a kind of a more look like a zone pressure. They're not going to deny the pass in. They're going to almost let him catch it and kind of trap, it looks like. There's the trap.
Into Quinn, and he's fouled.
And you can't let him split it. If he's going to catch, it was too easy. If you're going to make it easy to get it, the trap has to be really good, and it was not.
Two free throws here for the Ramblers and Quinn.
He's missed 2 today, but he's, again, in league play, he's been great. 23 of 28. It's been very good. Not great, but very good.
Winner of this game is in sole possession of 3rd place in the Atlantic 10, and that is a big miss for Quinn.
Well, Chicago has to know if this thing misses, miss or make, they're going to be blowing the ball off court. Talk communicate. No threes and no and ones.
So you get a quick three here for the Flyers. And you foul right away.
Right now, you just need a bucket, honestly. You got to get a bucket quickly. Same set.
Smith. Oh, foul! My goodness, and he almost made it. Now let's see if that's 2 or 3 here. Smith.
Well, I said I left out what else you can't do. No threes, no and ones, but also you never foul the jump shooter. Yes. He is clearly behind. 3 free throws for Malachi Smith. Quinn fouled him. It's his 3rd foul. Wuhinsu got him.
Wuhinsu, excuse me.
And yeah, it's confirmed in the review. Ron Groover just went over double checked. It is 3 now.
Two more for Smith. Chance to cut it to 2.
They're going to set their pressure again with 7.7 seconds left. It's got to be pretty immediate foul. I think you still want to deny the ball the entry pass this time, and if you can't get a turnover right off the first pass, you're going to have to foul. Play the foul game with here at Loyola Chicago.
Two-point game. 7.7 to go. Wuhinsu gets it in. Watson, they try to tie him up. Trying to get the jump. Did they get the jump with a foul?
They had the possession arrow too.
Right. They called the foul. That could have been so close to a jump ball possession arrow Dayton. And I think Anthony Grant is exactly what he's saying over there on the sideline. Watch this. Well, no, he didn't really grab the ball. No.
Did they call it on Simon? They called it on Cheeks. That's a tough call. I wasn't sure he wasn't really in the cylinder. I didn't see a ton on the arms, and Watson was just hoping that they made the call. So he was not in a good basketball position.
Right.
But he's got to step to the line. And if he makes these 2, some of these people can exhale a little bit.
69% free throw shooter. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Yeah, the next one could potentially put it away. We will see.
And I'll say it again. No threes, and do not foul the three-point jump shooter. You can let them take anything they want essentially here if he makes this. If not, it's communicate, switch everything, and don't foul.
Yeah, that's what Dawson was saying on the sidelines. He fouled out today. No fouls. Here's Malachi Smith. 2 seconds to go. Ball knocked away. Cheeks. No good. And Loyola Chicago wins it 76-70.